Before we get into today's video, I did want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance and hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend. I hope everybody got outside and got some sunshine and spent time with their family or their dogs or even just yourself. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a case that is pretty current. I don't even know if it's considered a case anymore. It's a situation of Nikki Alcaraz, and for a while she was reported as a missing person, but she has been found, and as far as we know, she's safe and everything, so nothing to worry about. But it gets a little bizarre, and when we see some body cam footage, it's like not what I don't think anybody was expecting. Before we get into it though, I did want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, Casually Christina, where we just do things more casually, more laid back over there. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon is for 18 and up. Over there, we talk about more personal story times. We go live over there. It's a good time if you're 18 and up and you would like to join. There's also a $2 tier over there where all of the true crime stuff that can't go onto YouTube due to their terms and policies, that goes over on my Patreon under the $2 tier. And I also have an Instagram, a Facebook, and a Snapchat. And all these videos are now on Spotify. All of that is always linked down in the description box if you'd like to come and check me out. So let me just start off real quick with telling you guys what we know about Nikki, and then I'll get into the situation. But I did want to remind you guys that everything that I'm talking about is very public information. I pull all of my information from public sources, and then I filter it through my own wording and my own opinion. So please go do your own research, form your own opinion. So Nikki Alcaraz, who's also known as Nikki Cunningham, is 33 years old and she's from Tennessee. She's also a mother of two. Nikki and her boyfriend, Steven Stratton, who also sometimes goes by Tyler because his name is Steven Tyler, and their dog left Nashville in Nikki's Jeep in early May to visit family in Orange County, California. After Nikki and her boyfriend, Steven, who by the way, they say they've been together for 16 years and one of Nikki's children is by this guy, Steven. So they do have a child together. I don't know if they have custody or what, because it was just Nikki and Steven that got in her Jeep and were getting ready to take this road trip. Nikki last spoke to her sister named Tony that we know of on May 8th. Nikki allegedly had told her sister when she spoke to her on May 8th that her and Steven were on their way to California and that they were currently at that time in Arizona going through. This was allegedly the last time that Nikki's sister or anybody had heard from her. So then when you bring it to the end of May, nobody had heard from Nikki or Steven in weeks, and Nikki's family was getting very concerned. They felt like this was not like her. They felt like there was maybe some rough situations that had been happening in the past between her and this long-term boyfriend / child's father, Steven, and they never showed up. And nobody knew where they were. So at this point, now Nikki's a missing person. Nobody knows where she is. When Nikki was deemed a missing person, this is when an investigation started. And this is also when it was found out that Nikki and Steven had actually had a run-in with the police on May 4th. They had this run-in with the police in Torrance County, New Mexico. A witness would say that they saw Steven punch Nikki in the face and that he immediately called 911.
911, where's your emergency?
I'm on on Highway 40, and I'm at I seen a girl get hit by a fucking dude, and I'm a truck driver, so I pulled over and I came over to her, and She told me to call the cops, so that's why I'm calling you guys. I'm with the girl right here. I'm gonna stay here until you guys set
Does she need an ambulance?
something to happen. What?
Does she need an ambulance?
I don't know. She's pretty beat up though.
Okay. How old does she look?
She looks like she might be in her 30s.
Is the male still there?
Yeah, he's here. He looks pretty bloodied up too.
Once the officers arrived, to their surprise, when they're coming to think that they're coming to just help a woman, not only did they find Nikki there, but they also found Steven. And Steven had red bodily fluids leaking from his face and all over his face. So it was obvious that something had happened to him as well. When the cops approached Steven, Steven told them that Nikki had actually attacked him.
Hello, ma'am. What's going on?
I'm a truck driver. That's my truck right there. As I was driving by, I seen her on the ground.
Okay.
And I seen that dude over there in the face. Yeah.
Okay. How's he related to you?
We've been together for 16 years.
Okay. Husband, wife, or
No.
boyfriend, girlfriend?
Boyfriend, girlfriend.
Okay. You want to press charges?
Yeah, I do. I want to.
I just pulled over to make sure she's
Can you
okay.
please? Do you have a lighter?
No, I don't have a lighter. Is he on anything that you know of?
Not that I know of, no. But I'm
Alright.
done. I'm over it. I want his ass put in jail. I'm over it. And I haven't been driving. I wasn't driving. He has my keys.
Okay.
I was gonna go get a lighter for her so
I
she
got
could
units coming, but
smoke a
can you help me
cigarette.
secure him?
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and stay here, ma'am? Hello, sir.
Hello.
Put your hand behind your back. Stay seated. Put your hand behind your back.
Okay.
Grids.
Okay, yes,
Hey.
sir.
Why don't you step up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what's going on?
Conversation. I've got a little conversation from me and her.
You want anything?
No, sir.
So what started the fight?
Alcohol.
Where were you hitting her?
I didn't. See the blood on me?
You guys were in a mutual combatant?
No.
Okay, let me put you in the car.
Now, when I watched this body cam footage, in my opinion, now these are grown adults. This is no judgment other than the fact that who was driving, but we're going to get there. You got Nikki and her boyfriend. In my opinion, it is very clear that they are under the influence of something. The cops did ask them if they had done anything or been on anything, and both Nikki and Steven admitted to have been drinking. They both admitted to having a beer and then some shots of Fireball. When the police asked Nikki if she still had the alcohol in the Jeep, she said no, she threw it out the window about 10 miles back. This is also when the officers started to ask, okay, well, who was driving? Nikki and Steven both said, I wasn't driving. So there's two people, there's one vehicle, there's two intoxicated people, but neither one of them are saying that they're driving. And I thought right there, okay, somebody's going to jail. Somebody's definitely going to jail, but stay with me here. So as the cops continued to investigate and they started to speak to Nikki, this is when Nikki told the cops that Steven had jumped on her. She showed them bruises that she had on her and said that she did want to press charges at this point. When they went over to speak to Steven, he was very, in my opinion, like soft and crying and very like, I don't want her to get in any trouble, I don't know, but he definitely had been injured in some way. And it seemed like kind of like he was kind of trying to take up for her. but she was saying she was done with him and she wanted to press charges. They ended up putting Steven in the back of the cop car so they could continue to get things figured out. As the cops had them separated and tried to talk to both of them about what happened, this is when the cops got two completely different stories from both people.
So what started the fight?
Oh, Mama, it's okay. All right.
So you have no idea what started the fight?
It just happens fast. I don't know. Jumped out the truck. This dude. Yeah, we have been drinking. I've been drinking.
They admitted he was drinking
He
too.
was drinking too.
right.
But I've been drinking. I wasn't driving. I was in the passenger seat. Jumped out. Got the out of me, and that dude pulled over and saw the whole. That's why he pulled over. I'm over it. I'm over it.
Okay. So where are your bruises? Let's see, here, on that arm, and face.
I'm not trying to blame anything on her, but she ended up drinking, and she says she doesn't drink liquor, and we got a fireball back in as soon as we hit New Mexico coming out of Texas.
Okay.
And we're supposed to be going to California and having a good time and forget our past and just.
So you guys thought drinking would be a good way to do it?
No.
Do me a favor, we can leave them up.
Anything like that. It shows. She ended up having too much to blood all over me.
Yep, she has bruises on both arms.
I know she does. I know she does.
And you got a bloody mouth. Where'd you get that
from? Her, and I had blood all over my face from that. I just wiped everything off because I just.
So, when the truck driver saw you hit her, the trucker saw you hit her. Did she hit you after that or prior to that?
Prior to that. Like, yes, I mean, like, look, like, this blood's old. Like, it was like we literally were up the road about 2-3 miles before this happened, and she wanted to pull over, and because she kept hitting me, and I was like begging her to please stop, and she kept hitting me, and like, I mean, I have blood on my shirt from it.
Now, you guys, let me just enter my opinion here. I'm watching this body cam footage, and I'm going, somebody's going to jail, okay? They both go into jail. Typically, when you have this type of situation where there's two parties involved and they both have injuries, they both go to jail, okay? That's usually what happens. And I'm also sitting there watching this going, after the whole Gabby Petito situation, there is no way that these people are not going to jail. However, by the end of it, because in the beginning of the body cam footage, Nikki is saying she did want to press charges. But by the end of it, the cops end up towing the vehicle because neither one of them are sober and they can't figure out who was driving. And they decided that they would drop the two of them off in different sides of the town, the next town up, because they were pulled over in the middle of nowhere so they could separate them. When I saw that, I thought I would have to guess. I don't know. I would have to guess that the police went back to Nikki and said, listen, he's got injuries, okay? If I take him to jail for assault, I have to take you too, because it's obviously both of you guys. And I would think that this is when Nikki said she didn't want to press charges, because then it goes on to say that Nikki didn't want to press charges, but she clearly said she did in the beginning. So she probably thought, well, if we both go and neither one of us are going, which they got lucky. Do you hear me? I was surprised, super surprised when I saw that. It was also later found out that Steven actually had a warrant out for his arrest for an unrelated charge of theft, although I guess it didn't come up because he was not arrested for that warrant during that time. Nikki later called her sister Toni crying and upset, and Toni said that Nikki's eye was already turning black and that you could tell she was beat up pretty bad. A family friend drove to New Mexico to bring Nikki Nikki to California, but that morning when they were supposed to leave, she told the family friend that she had to go back and find Steven because she had a bad feeling, and so the friend left without her. Nikki and Tony communicated over the next 2 days, which is when Nikki said that she was in Arizona and intended to complete the trip. Nikki and Steven's phones have since been turned off, leaving Tony to fear for the worst. So then a missing persons report was filed for New Mexico, the last place that Nikki was seen. And in my opinion, it's obvious that Nikki at this point has family that really loves and cares about her.
Obviously, there was a domestic incident in New Mexico. They were traveling to California. She should have been there weeks ago. Nobody's heard a word from her since. So there's a lot going through my mind.
They're looking for her. They're concerned about her. They've sent a friend to go pick her up. She didn't show up because she was scared to leave Steven. And now they still can't find her. So there's a missing persons report out. But then over Memorial Day weekend on May 27th, Nikki was possibly spotted at a California Walmart selling her cell phone. People have been speculating whether or not that's Steven standing next to her in the photos captured by the machine she used to sell her cell phone, and no further details about this potential spotting have been released. However, Nikki's alleged ex-husband, and this is all alleged, he made a post that said, "Everyone rallies around a woman that can have nothing to do with her kids, but call a man a deadbeat for missing a weekend. The world is weird, bro." So I don't know what goes on behind the scenes with that, but yeah. The Torrance County Sheriff's Office told News Nation that there probably should have been an arrest made in that body cam footage situation that we saw. And probably, I'm very surprised that the two of them did not get arrested with the visible wounds that they had. On the evening of May 30th, the Redding Police Department announced on their Facebook page at around 4:30 p.m. that they learned that Nikki was contacted by the Eureka Police Department and was found to be safe. At that time, she was no longer considered a missing person. So they made contact with her and she was safe. She had a chance to say something, and then they realize that she's not missing. So maybe she doesn't want to be found. I don't know. What do y'all think? And then Steven was later arrested that day for an unrelated warrant. So just my opinion on this. I don't want to give too many opinions because this situation is going on and fresh. And the way that I'm seeing is that you've got a family that really loves their family member, and possibly this family member that doesn't want to be found. I know a lot of us know, me and y'all, know what it's like to have a family member disappear for long periods at a time, and you don't know what's going on with them. And sometimes they don't want to be found, and that sucks. And sometimes you're scared, and sometimes you're doing the back and forth, and you're trying to get them help, and you're trying to get them to eat and clean, and try to put them on their feet, and then they disappear again, and then it's back, and it's this yo-yo thing, and it's exhausting. And so I don't know if that's what Nikki's family's going through, but I do know that out of all of this, one thing that I find is a positive is that Nikki obviously has people that love her, obviously have people that are fighting for her and looking for her and willing to scream it to the mountaintops and the news media stations looking for her, whether she wants to be found or not. Imagine if we all had family members fighting for us like that. I mean, it'd be pretty cool. So let me know what you guys think. Did y'all hear about her being missing? Did you think this was another Gabby Petito situation, and then maybe seen the body cam footage and went, maybe it's not a Gabby Petito situation. Maybe this is a whole different situation. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Other than that, thank y'all so much for being here. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.